was 9 waiting for somebody to open it. Because I'm a lady.
Honey, it's okay because we older and we still hearing those same things.
Absolutely.
Like, can y'all chill?
Absolutely.
Think about Kendall. Kendall's an awesome motivational speaker. She's got a radio station. She's got this. She got this. And the guys, the significant others is looking like, well, is there any room for me to do something?
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's okay. It's okay. We still struggle with that too.
That's right. Because the thing is,
I can't be weak, but I can.
But you know what?
Try to soften up a little.
There's strength and weakness. There's a little, but you got to understand that, and I tell my youngest daughter this too. There is strength in being vulnerable. Vulnerability is not a weakness. It's a strength.
Yep.
Because we are taught for so long to don't let the right shoulder see what the other shoulder's doing. Never let them see you sweat. Yep. Don't show keep your poker face, and don't show your true emotion. Don't wear your emotion on your sleeve. And you got to be hard out here. You got to be this way. So we're taught to be that way, and then you have to unlearn how to be that way. Because that's why I have Living True, Living You, because you have to be authentically who you are. If you are a crybaby, be a crybaby. If you're tough, learn how to be a little, more vulnerable. If you're a crybaby, learn how to be a little more strong. It's about just changes that we go through as women and just trying to find out who we are. Because the minute we find out who we are, that's when the skies start opening up. That's when opportunities come. And that's a way of God talking to us and guiding us. And like Temia said, I truly believe that God assisted that whole thing, if not orchestrated. I will say orchestrated, because you were where you wanted to be. I called at the exact time to have you come. You said yes. You came. The other women that were supposed to be there, they were there. We didn't need any more. We didn't need any less. And those women showed you love that day. And sometimes even by mothers and grandmothers, people think mothers and grandmothers show love. Not always. A lot of women don't see love. I know a woman who is almost 50 years old and her mother never hugged her. Her mother told her, I remember, because I'm a hugger. I reached out to hug her one day, and you thought I was stealing money from out the back of her pocket. She was jumping and moving like, oh, what you doing? I said, sis, I'm just giving you a hug. And she told me, she said she's just not used to people expressing their love like that, because her mother didn't show her any type of I love yous and hugs and go girl and you are amazing and you are everything. That's why I think it's very important for us to be affirmed as women by other women. It's okay to compliment another woman. It's okay to support and cry with another woman. It's okay to just say, you know what? I got your back. I have a friend here that's going through a divorce, and she has a young son. She works hard. She has her own business. And sometimes it's hard for her with her son. My children are 18 and almost 24. And I was like, bring that boy over here. He's like 6 years old. I said, I will make sure he is fed. I will make sure he is entertained. And I will make sure that he sleeps if he has to be. Because mothers need a break, especially when you are a single mother or when you're someone that's doing it alone. You need a break. You need to regain your sanity. You need to remember that you are a woman first. And I think as a mother, you are defined by motherhood and not womanhood. But you are going to be a woman before that child comes into your life, and you're going to be a woman when that child is gone. So you have to really get in tune with your womanhood and get in tune with celebrating who you are as a woman. And I think when we come together collectively, we can do that for one another. And I think that's very, very important. And I want to say to LaShawna, my prayers go out to your god sister, and LaShawna is really going through it, everyone. So please keep her in prayer and keep her family in prayer. Her godmother's her god sister's mother just died, and this young lady is 23 years old. So she is a 23-year-old, the same age as my daughter. Now she no longer has a mother. And LaShawna, all that she's going through, she is trying to uplift and support her god sister. And I commend you on that, because you're going through challenges. You're going through the loss of her mother and just the loss of your mother. Tell the audience why it's important for you to support your god sister and be there for her in this time of need.
I think, with me, I'm a very caring person, just in general. I just love seeing people go to the next level, and especially when it's people that I've built relationships with, and I actually met them in a very desperate and like one of the lowest of valleys that I can say I've had in my life. And I call her my godmother because she just stepped in. I couldn't call her anything else. But she stepped in, and I met them when Christian's my youngest son. I met them when he wasn't even born yet. He was still an infant. And from day one, she took to my boys and myself, and it was nothing but love, and it was just genuine love. And I feel like in her absence, I've always looked at her kids as like my younger siblings. But in her absence, I feel like it's only right for me to be there as like an older sibling. I wouldn't, I didn't have that when my mom passed because I'm the oldest. So it's like, I know what it did for me when I needed it, and I got it. So it's like, okay, I want to make sure the next person feels that same way. Like, I don't want her to feel like you can't call me at 2 o'clock in the morning, because there were nights, like right after my mom passed, that I was up pacing the floor because it was questions that I want to answer, and now was like the reality that I wasn't going to get them answered.
And she kept it to herself that her mom passed, and you kept it to yourself, and didn't tell anybody. Exactly.
And I'm like, I know, like I said, like that day when I got those hugs, I know how that relief felt from me. So it's like, I want that for someone else. I want that for her because that's someone I truly care about. Like, blood could not make us any closer. She was out with me on my birthday, before we found out that, what was going on with her mom, my godmother. And just the way that she lost her mother, it just hurts. And I'm like,
her mom passed away. Her mom passed away in her arms. This young lady, 23 years old.
Both of our mothers dealt with the same cancer. So we both knew, like, I knew the signs when they told her, that the cancer was coming back, and I was talking to her like, okay, this is what this is. We were researching together. I was telling her what I knew from, when my mom passed. And it's just like I said, I know how it felt for me when I was feeling so alone and I didn't have any answers, and I just felt like there was no one there to answer those questions that I wanted. And I just didn't want that for her. And I know, like I said, like when I got that, just a simple hug and it's going to be okay. I don't think people realize how powerful that really can be. Like, it sounds so simple, and it's like, oh, it's just a hug, but you never know what someone is dealing with. You never know what they're tossing and turning and fighting with behind a closed door. And just a simple hug sometimes, I mean, it really can change. And I think society has gotten so far away from just loving on people and being there for people. Everything is me. And what can I do for me? journey, and no one actually stops to think, you know, what the next person needs. And it's like, I mean, a hug or just a word of encouragement, it really, I mean, I can tell you, like, I had my sons really young. So, let's just be real. My sons are 12 days away from my birthday. So, like you said, our birthdays are like bam, bam, bam. I had my oldest right after I turned 16, and I had my youngest right before I turned 18. And to be truthful, this is not where I saw my life. I was a straight A student. I was going to college. I wasn't trying to hear anything about a baby. I was going to see the world. And that was where my mom was. I made a couple decisions that, you know, I'm not going to say they turned bad. They just turned my journey in a different direction. And there were days when the boys were younger that I was like, I cannot take this anymore. Like, I can't do it. I'm not doing this anymore. Something has to give. I just want to get away. And I don't know if the boys sensed it. I don't know. They would just come and hug on me. And I remember a lady that I used to work with, and I don't know if it was just in my face, and it would be just days that she would just come hold my shoulder or just hug me and go, it's going to be okay. Those hugs and that word of encouragement, like, I just can't express how powerful they can really be for people. And me even being younger, I just wish people would remember, like, how can I put this? Remember that it's better to help your neighbor, because you never know if that neighbor is going to be who you need when you turn around the other day. Just because you made 6 figures on Monday doesn't mean by Friday the business can't be closing down.
You better preach.
You may need that cup of sugar.
That's right.
You better preach.
Yes, right.
Girl. You may need that cup of sugar from that neighbor that was only making $28,000.
That's right.
And couldn't, you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
I don't know. I don't know what happened, but I just feel like society is so messed up now.
Yeah.
Everything is just for self, and I'm just like, it's just, to me, it hurts, because it's like, when did we get to that point where everything is literally, it's all about me. I could care less what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got babies that are, like, killing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my sons are, like, experiencing death in their schools because the kids are, like, and, like, my son's only, like, the oldest is only in the 4th grade. So I'm like, I don't remember being that depressed at 10 and 11 years old. But it's like, no one's reaching, like you said, no one's reaching back and saying, you know, hey, how are you doing today? You know,
something as simple as that. Something as simple as that. Just inquiring about someone.
No one is having those kind of conversations anymore.
That's right.
And it's just, it's mind-boggling to me how selfish we've got. I don't want to say we, but just
we as a people. Yeah, we as a people.
We as people.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Shawna,
that was very well said. Wait,
if you don't mind,
yeah.
Shawna, I just want to hit a couple of points that you talked about. You're amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say that again.
Mm-hmm.
Don't lose that passion.
Mm-hmm.
Because we live in a microwave world, and we want everything fast.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't lose that passion, you're going to make the difference. We can't save the world, but we can make a difference.
Absolutely.
And if right now you're building that bridge for the next woman.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, you had to lose your mother to be able to lay down the next foundation for the next woman.
Amen.
Because the encouragement that you are giving to that other young lady who lost her mother, she is going to turn around and build the
and
next
get
brick.
absolutely,
The next
absolutely,
brick for the next
absolutely.
You continue to
That's
keep
right.
that passion.
That's
you
right.
Continue to share your story. And let me tell you something. It's not your journey.
That's
because
right.
God didn't. I don't care if you was a straight A student making 6, whatever you was doing.
Your journey is what it's supposed to be.
It's God's
That's
journey.
right.
And God will place you exactly
That's right.
where He wants
That's
you
right.
to be.
That's
You
right.
keep that passion.
That's
Let me
right.
tell you something. I talk about retiring from my cheerleading squad every year. And I've been doing it for 16 years. But you know what keeps, and I don't get paid a dime. I am a volunteer. And you know what keeps me going